access level has recently increased. Excellent. Incoming message.
Good evening and welcome to Behind the Scanner. Your hosts for tonight are Andrew Krug from Virginia, Daphne D. from Washington, D.C., and Jorge Pedrero from Mexico City. Tonight's guests are Hugo Vidal and Evy L. Welcome to the show. The Q&A tool is enabled for tonight's broadcast. Submit your questions throughout the show and we'll ask as many as time allows. If you know someone who would make a great guest, submit their information to us at bit.ly/BTS_guest. Finally, you can watch past episodes and subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/behindthescanner. And now, your hosts of Behind the Scanner.
All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 35 of Behind the Scanner. It is a balmy, I think, 55 degrees in my basement, so I'm wearing a hat to keep warm. Don't judge me. With that being said, actually, you know what? Before we introduce and get to know our amazing guests that have joined us, we have some housekeeping items that we've got to do. Last week, we gave away two things. One was this amazingly awesome Resistance Rocks large shirt. And we also had a contest for reshares. Some people didn't follow the instructions and reshared the announcement of the reshare, but that's okay because I put a link to the original post anyway. So, before we jump right into it, let's give the Resistance Rock shirt away. The person that I believe won that is Cheryl Allen for resharing episode 34. Thank you, Cheryl.
Woo!
And like the Resistance, they mess up my green screen every time I show that. There we go, fixed it. Okay. And so, in the interest of fairness and transparency, we're going to do this. There we go. We've got 55 people who reshared it publicly, at least. We had, I think, over 100 people who reshared it privately. So we're just going to go to randomizer.org, pick somebody. First number is 18. 18 is Hulk Smash. Hulk Smash, you have won the Ingress #2 comic that we gave away for this week. So there you go. And I'm going to keep this up. If Hulk Smash, you don't want the comic, then we'll give it to number 19, actually, which is our guest this week, Hugo Vidal. So if Hulk passes, you get a Hugo, but we'll go from there. So anyway, with that, let's get into the show here. Stop sharing all my secrets. And our first guest tonight is the person who will be the backup winner of the Niantic #2 comic, and that is Hugo Vidal, Agent. I'm going to butcher it. I think it kind of is pronounced like Inimando. No, I'm not even going to try. It's almost like Illuminato, but there's too many M's and M's in there for me. But he is from Santiago, Chile. So welcome, Hugo. We appreciate you joining us tonight.
Hello, guys.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome, Hugo. Hello.
All right, so Innominado, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, I have to say it's such a poetic name to say. I admit I've been practicing the last couple of days. Now, can you tell the primarily English speakers that watch this show what the name means and why you chose it?
Well, Innominado, it just means unnamed in Spanish, but it's a really archaic word. It's not a word we use every day. The shame is that it sounds a lot like another word that we use all the time during the gameplay, and that's Iluminado. That's the name of the Enlightened.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that if you ever have any problem and any issues with your code name being really close to the pronunciation in Spanish of Enlightened, Iluminado.
Well, it happens all the time. The first times I went to a resistant farm, it was like somebody shout, "Hey, Innominado viene ahí." Innominado comes there, and everybody started running in circles because they were thinking that a toad was invading the farm and going to rip it off. Or sometimes they were starting to talk about Intel ops, and they say, "Hey, let's Innominado is over there," and somebody would believe that there was a toad over there. Yeah, it happens all the time, but after they know me, it's not much of an issue anyway.
Well, speaking of interacting with toads, frogs, the Enlightened, you have participated in some anomalies, I believe. So, can you, as somebody who's just now getting to know you, thank you for coming on the show again. How many anomalies have you participated in, and what kind of roles did you play in those anomalies?
I participated in 4 anomalies. We were a secondary location for 13 Magnus. We were a primary location for Interitus. We had an Ilios artifact traveling through the country, and also we were a connected cell for Darsana Global Week 2. So it seems like Niantic has something with us. We can rest. Well, and during during Darsana Global Week 2, I was part of the Intel team, and we were trying to fill the city all the week long. And on 13 Magnus, I didn't play as much. I had just reached level 8, so I was just a small Smurf. And for Interitus, I was in charge of leading the ground troops during the clusters. So I got to yell at some people and get more people to yell back at me on Salo and all that kind of stuff.
So you know what, you bring up something, and this is a total offshoot of our original line of questioning, but you called yourself a small Smurf, and new Enlightened players, we call them, tadpoles or something like that. What do you call new Smurfs? Are they Smurf berries? I don't know. What do you call them, new Smurfs?
No, we just use a diminutive for Smurf in Spanish. That's pitufines or pitufos chicos or something like that.
Interesting.
Why does it sound so much more poetic in Spanish?
It does.
Okay. All right. Well, just as a reminder for those of you watching, remember to submit your questions for our guests by clicking the QA button. I believe it's to the left of your screen at the moment. And yeah, we'll be answering them live in just a little bit. Next question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I muted myself. We'll get the hang of it. We've done this like 35 times, so
It's live. It's live.
That's all right. I didn't want you guys to hear me coughing. Is what it is. All right, so let's get back on track. Ingress, right? That's why we're here. We're here to talk about Ingress. So in addition to the anomalies that you've participated in, you've also participated in some pretty big fielding ops. I've seen your name, unfortunately, because you play for the other side, pop up with sit reps and things. What has been the most challenging thing that you've done in those field ops, and how have you overcome them?
Well, the most challenging thing after Darsana Week 1, that week was crazy on its own way. It was the week before Darsana when we decided, without knowing we were going to be a connected cell, to go and try to fill the city every single day. We managed to do it 4 times, not always on checkpoint, but it was really great training. But we were completely tired at the start of the connected cell week, but that's another issue. So.
Wow! Congratulations. That's a heck of a goal to set.
I know that you went crazy that time and you were so exhausted, but you found some certain like pros from this this experience, anomalies, planning some ops, that you really find that it helps the community in Chile to improve their building abilities. How's this? What was
Well,
the thing that you found?
I think that being in the focus of the Niantic anomalies have made us to think strategically all the time. I think that most of the people that play in the city know that where are the anchors to fill the city, how their actions can influence what happens around them. But also it had made us to start building teams, because when I started playing, I don't know, the fielding team was like 5, 6 people. And when we got more players playing and more blockers appearing everywhere, well, we had to expand the team, and that meant recruiting, training, and doing all kind of stuff to build a community, the resistance community as a whole, and also the fielding team, because we needed more people to be as crazy as we were to go out and drive 4 or 5 hours on their car to walk everywhere and go to lay down a blocker or to field over.
Some of that kind of sounds like, no matter how much we love it, but a second job, a career actually. Ingress can kind of be like something you don't get paid for, but you do 50
Yeah.
hours a week.
Yeah, it
So-
can be. It can be really tiresome.
So besides, for the love of it and everything, what do you do actually outside of Ingress? What do you do for work?
I'm a physician. I'm a radiologist, so I spend most of my daytime on a basement reading CTs and MRIs and that stuff.
Interesting. So do you have like those really high def big monitors that you can see all the detail and zoom in on the MRIs and all that?
Yeah, I can do, and the Intel map loads really well in those monitors
Oh
too.
my
I don't
God.
tell everybody because I get fired.
I can only imagine. I had to go for an MRI not too long ago, and I have no idea what I was looking at. I think I could tell where my kidney was, but that's about it. So props to you guys.
Now, in addition to work, also outside of Ingress, you were saying that you're also a trail runner, and but you still don't have much sense of direction in the city.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so has Ingress helped you, or has the running helped you, or what sort of relationship have you had between the running, the direction, and Ingress?
Well, most of the time it's easier to me that somebody tells me, go to that portal, go to that address. In case of doubt, I can load the key, put navigate to portal, and follow the directions, and I'll kind of get to it. But if I'm driving, I'm the worst driver ever. I can pass through a place 3-4 times and don't know that I'm getting there. People that have gone to me to anchors in my car know what I'm talking about.
Okay, but your running skills help you in some way when you are playing Ingress. Like you always want that special portal that it has to be deployed or hacked or whatever.
Well, when I started playing, I tried to, with some of my resistance friends, we tried to keep our interest on the outdoors and join them with Ingress, and we started submitting portals on several summits. So there are about 5-6 mountains around the city. Santiago is completely encircled by mountains, where we have some really hard to get portals. When it's not just that you have to drive your car. You have to drop it and walk 1, 2, 3 hours to get to the portal, and it has been a real headache for the Enlightened, for what we've seen here. And the other part of the question, the most remote of those, I think that it's Sector La Lata, that's deep in the Andes. It's on a valley. You have to walk about 8 miles to get to it, and In winter, it can be in deep snow. You can have really bad weather, and it's really cold in there. So uh, I usually like when people want to go there to get advice, because if they don't have training or don't have the equipment, they can get into serious trouble.
What kind of equipment do you use to go over those portals?
Oh, it depends. It depends. Right now in summer, you just need some good trail shoes and sunscreen and a cap and a short sleeve shirt and shorts. But during winter, you first of all you need to check the weather, because if it's going to rain or it's going to snow, please remain at your home. You are not doing any help to anybody, risking your life going to a hardened portal during bad weather. So, but if the weather is nice, you really must think of the cold. Bring gloves, bring warm clothes, bring spare socks, because your socks can get wet and you don't want to get frostbite and that kind of stuff.
Have there ever been any particular casualties or issues that you've had to deal with because of such things? Or people not being prepared?
Well, we've had a few weeks ago we have a pair of agents of both factions that have got really insulated during their trips, but nothing. As far as I know, there have been no serious accidents or anything. So, but as I'm the one of the guilty of the culprits of having those portals, when somebody of the other faction goes there, I really start getting troubled about it, and I start pinging them on com, trying to know when they're getting home, because I don't want anybody to get lost,
Oh.
or I don't want to go there to get somebody out of the mountain.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. That's really cool that you care about whichever player that is.
The
Yeah.
fact that people like go up to mountains in the middle of winter and do all this stuff anyway is fascinating and blows me away. I have no desire to do that. I don't know if did you guys see Ogdauber's post where they took him and Joe Philly took the snowmobiles up to that. I mean, wow.
I'd be so down for that. I really would.
It'd be fun, but yeah, I like the warmth.
No, that's kind of what. Well, just that whole inaccessible and going to different places that normally people don't go to. I think that's why I got recruited to the game. But yeah, it's fascinating.
All right, Hugo, my man, are you ready to, I guess, stand before the firing squad and answer some of these viewer questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Excellent. Well, the first one comes from Hernan. I know him. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Jorge, give me a hand.
Trocai.
Trocai. I was close. So Hernan Trocai. He would like to know, what do you think about the new medal for recruitment?
I think that it should be taken off. It really is just an invitation for people to get double accounts, multiple accounts, triple accounts, just for the sake of having a medal. That shouldn't be part of the Ingress experience, and it should be taken off. It only get us with crappy non-players feeding the com, and it encourages bad behavior.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, there's a screenshot being passed around. I think some of you may have already seen it, where there was a player that I think was at Soldier 1 through 28 or whatever. And I love the joke, though, someone saying that, if you get platinum, you get banned.
Yeah, sure. Maybe
You're asking for it.
Maybe getting gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you haven't reached all your people yet, I mean, you're not going to get them. Well, I mean, we have a lot of new players now, but
somebody else had already mentioned that, you can see G+ blowing up, and where, your friend suggests is Enlightened Bot 12456, and you might know these other accounts, which is Enlightened Bot 12467, 12469, all those and add up. So, yeah, it'll be, you have to keep an eye on that and see what comes from it. I guess the only silver lining, perhaps, is that there'll be some accountability, traceability, theoretically. If I pass you an invite and you set up a bot, then I guess I'd hope that they could trace it back to your account, my account. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I don't see that the why we have to earn a medal for recruitment. There's a lot of other stats that could be the being counting for medals, like holding for a long time a control field or links or whatever, or the stats are there in the scanner. So why do you have to recruit and to recruit 100 agents and level up all of them to level 3 to earn a medal? It's impossible. It's like getting the black seer medal. It's like 5,000 portals discovered. The monkey doesn't have that much time to approve 5,000 portals to one agent. So.
Yeah,
I love superpowers.
I think it would be interesting to see something along the lines of, like a medal for largest MU field, not cumulative MU captured, but single largest MU field, because
yeah,
I mean, we're gonna have a guest on from Operation Essex in a little bit, talk about the storyline. But I mean, I believe that controlling minds is really kind of the point of the game, and so not just cumulative MUs captured, but the single biggest one to kind of reward people for making those big fields, those impressive macro unit fields and all that. So.
Yeah, I personally think that.
Go ahead.
I personally think that using the total of my units captured, not just a single field, would be a better measurement, because you have urban players that they don't go on big fielding ops, and you have that all the people that go laying down blockers, they don't get a single MU on their profiles for the operation. So I think that cumulative could be a better measurement than one single field, because that would start making teams, I don't know, having some ego issues with people wanting to be the one who closes the field instead of rewarding the cooperation.
Sure, we already have that.
Oh, but that could be fixed in so many ways, like how many people deploy that portal, I don't know, 5 minutes before the launch of the last link to close the control field or something like that. I don't know, but I think it could be managed to distribute the amount of points that a portal gives. I'm not meaning AP, but the amount of mind units that control field means in your stats between several people that are collaborating in that moment. I don't know.
I think we could probably talk this topic to death and spend all of the show on this single one if we wanted to. But let's move on a little bit and talk about some other topics. All right, Hugo, we're still on the questions, by the way, so this is for you. How did you first hear about Ingress and when?
Well, I was reading in a technology blog here in Chile that's called Firewire, but written in a completely nonsensical way for you, and they were like promoting the game and showing that what was all this thing of augmented reality, and I say, why don't we try it? And I got hooked up, and here I am.
Interesting. Was that where's the blog? Is it a dedicated site, or was it on G+ or?
No, it's a dedicated site.
Okay.
It's called firewire.com. It's
interesting. All right. Somebody else wants to know, and I think the answer to this is obvious given what you're wearing right now, but have you ever coordinated your wardrobe and worn blue on purpose to an Ingress event?
you can't go on an operation wearing any color that's not blue. Period. And if you have the resistant log on it, it's better.
Any special rewards?
But I must say that I have one trail running backpack that's lime green, like completely toad-like, and
That's okay. We'll
I don't use it that much anymore.
You can get some paint, maybe some markers, and just color it in, I guess. All right.
All right. Well, it's that time for our Behind the Scanner tradition for Better or for Worse, when we give every guest at the end of their interview about 60 seconds to talk about whatever they'd like, or give a shout out, or show off a talent, or pretty much carte blanche. So whenever you're ready, Hugo, please share.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I want to give thanks to all the people of the Chilean resistance for being there, for answering to hangouts, for going to crazy places at the middle of the night. I also want to give my thanks to the Chilean Enlightened, because without them we'll be playing on our own, and without opposition there's no gameplay. And third, I want to give you thanks for inviting me here. And fourth, I want just to say hello to everybody who's watching the show.
Well, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. It is
Great,
it's always cool to meet new people from around the world. I like that.
Very true, absolutely.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Hugo.
Yeah, great to meet you.
Gracias, Hugo.
De
Sí,
nada.
de verdad. Yeah.
Everyone here speaks Spanish that's on tonight, except
Except who?
no sé.
Except.
No,
Okay.
All right. Not too embarrassing. All right, so before we get on to our second guest, also a Spanish speaker, we have time for the weekly truth. This week we have, again, Jose Antonio Rey, also a Spanish speaker from Lima, Peru. And he's going to catch up on what's been going on in the Ingress storyline. So everyone, please welcome Operation Essex investigator Jose Antonio R. to the show. Bienvenidos.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm back here again on the show. So it's always great to be here on BTS to share with you guys what's been going on in the Ingress story for the last and last week we saw found an old artifact with Jahan. We all know the story. Jahan is a double agent. Jahan is anti-Magnus, and Judy Nagasa, Martin Schubert, and Stan Leitman have been having a discussion on Hulong, and they knew about it, so they're trying to hide what's going on with the artifact and all that stuff related to the artifact. So mentioning different artifacts. So for example, we have translated it into different languages. We can end up with some, which is Shiva, trying to understand why they want to mention Shiva, specifically the Queen of Shiva. The Queen of Shiva was an Azir herself, or what was going on with her during all times. We also had a post from Felicia Hacker Lee. In this post, we can only black. We know that Deborah inoculated herself with a vaccine, so we don't know what is Deborah now. A few weeks ago, I told you that Deborah, if you look like, so we're trying to understand if she's dark XM entity Deborah to understand and find a cure for his dark XM affected body. Now, we also have this post from Hubert Farlow. This tells us that Hubert was going in the look for someone. A series.
You are unmuted, Andrew.
I am?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Verizon, hello.
Yeah.
So it seems like we've got a little bit of technical difficulties going on. What we will do is we will get a summary from Jose after the show. Maybe we'll tape a little segment when he's got a bit of a better connection, and then we'll put that up on BTS on our YouTube page, so you'll be able to listen to that. So, hey, these things happen. So, all right, let's move on. We will go with the code of the show. My personal favorite time, because you never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. So these are multi-redeemable codes that you can share, you can give to people. They may be good for 20, they may be good for 500, they may be good for 500,000 redemptions. We have no idea. I have no idea what's in them. So with that, there it is! Like magic, it appears every week.
Woohoo!
It's like the beautiful,
Get
beautiful day.
some.
There it is. We'll leave it up there for a few minutes. I wish I could. I can't really manipulate it, but there you go. To me, it's backwards. What is that? 6MG. So somebody take a screenshot.
All,
Take it.
all the time when you do that, Andrew, the thing like this with your hand, you look like those girls of The Price is Right, you know?
I know. I think I have a career with that. I could go like that. When I'm done doing, I might have to shave though, and I'm not sure I want to do that. So.
How do you look with the skirt?
Oh,
You should
that's
see
a
me.
bad visual.
Oh, I remember
Hey.
you with your kilt.
I've had a kilt on. You should see me in a bikini.
Yeah.
though. I can rock.
Yeah, I remember. No, you
Alright.
don't look so good. Well, our second guest of the show this night is Evy L from Tucson, Arizona. Welcome, Agent Blackroad.
Welcome, Evie. How's it going?
Welcome.
You can. She's not muted, is she?
No.
I'm not.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yay!
Hi.
Excellent.
Bienvenido.
Welcome. So first things first. Feliz cumpleaños.
Ah, you're so
Hola. Feliz cumpleaños.
Yesterday was your birthday. I
It
think.
sure was.
You're like 18 now, or something along those lines.
Man, I'm
You
16.
Don't. Okay. Well.
Level or your age?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, not my level.
There you
Not
go.
yet.
There you go.
I'm almost 30. How's that?
That's. I wasn't actually looking for an answer, but let's go. We'll go with 18. So.
18's a good number.
Before we get started, I gotta say one thing, because I've known you for a while now, since the 13 Magnus days. We met
Yes,
while
sir.
you were driving. Oh God, don't call me sir. While we were driving around. You were driving around like the Southwest everywhere for like days on end.
Uh-huh.
And then we met. I think it was it Brandon Downey was able to get you a
Yes,
ticket
sir.
to come to.
I keep
San
calling you
Francisco?
sir.
That's okay. I'm just gonna go with it now.
It's the beard.
It's the beard.
It's the
No.
beard and the gray hairs.
It's the respect. I respect you, sir.
I see. I'm trying to pay you a compliment here.
Oh,
So what?
is
what
that
I was
really
gonna
that
say-
hard? Okay, let's just keep going. All right, yes, you've known me for a while.
What I was gonna say is, out of everybody I've met playing Ingress, I think you have one of the brightest, most beautiful personalities. You are
Aw.
always laughing. You always have a positive frame of mind. It doesn't matter if you've been in your car and you smell like hell because you've been there for like 2 weeks.
Hey, nobody knows what I smell like right now, so
That's true.
I'm totally
But
kidding.
you have a winning personality that I think just embodies the game, and
Man.
I'm glad that we're able to share this now with everybody tonight. as we talk about Ingress and yourself. So
You're gonna make me cry at the beginning, really, of the interview. This is not good.
It's kind of what. Have you not seen our shows? We just talk about everything.
Yeah.
I got some deep stuff.
Sit on my couch for a while.
Andrew is like Oprah.
True. It's true. If only not as rich.
Thank you.
So,
I totally appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, so let's get on with it.
All right.
I don't know who wrote this. I think it was Daphne, but it says the legend says that you're an original gangsta. So
OG.
you are an OG. How long have you been playing the game? We kind of established a little rough timeline, but how long have you been playing the game, and how did you find out about it?
All right. So I believe, I can't remember dates, and I should have looked it up. I believe Ingress started November 16th of 2012, I want to say. I started the second day of beta. So if it was the 16th, I started the 17th. And I actually heard about it from a coworker. He had heard about it, I'm not sure where, probably Gizmodo or somewhere, and he had signed up for a beta a long time before that. When he finally got the invite was, I believe, the first day, actually. That's when he got it. And he had talked to me, and he's like, so there's this game. I'm not really sure what to do with it. I don't really know much about it. It's supposed to be this augmented reality thing. Are you interested? Do you want to code? And I was like, yeah, I'll try it out, whatever. I wasn't expecting anything, honestly. Got the code. We went out during lunch that first day together, or the second day of beta, and we walked around. He kind of had the grasp on what portals were and how to link, basically just the basics, right? So we walked around, and he's like, this is what you do. You need a key, XYZ, whatever. We all know how to play. So that's kind of how it just started. So he gave me the information. He gave me the beta code. And again, I didn't think much of it. The third day of beta, so my second day, I was driving home from work, and I thought to myself, I'm interested to know what portals are in my area. And I didn't know about Intel or anything. So I was actually just driving around by myself thinking, all right, I'm going to find something in the scanner. And lo and behold, post office. And I thought, cool, awesome. Passed the second post office. Thought, awesome. I didn't know that all post offices and libraries were portals by default at that time. Again, I didn't really know much about the game. Once I started catching on, I was driving all over my city to every post office and library that I knew of just to play this game. I was hooked immediately. My coworker he kind of stopped playing, and I was hooked, but there was not a lot of portals in the area. So second day of beta, long story short. Sorry about that. But yeah.
Nothing to be sorry about. That's really interesting. I mean, these were pioneer days and everything back then. And I mean, and speaking of which, there were, even though you're like kind of a noob starting on the second day, is it true that you ended up being the first L8 player in the entire state of Arizona?
Yeah, that's actually one of my proudest things. Not Ingress world, but in general. So again, like I said, in Tucson, there were not many portals at that time during the beginning days of the game. Again, portals by default were the post offices and libraries. Other than that, historical things. So driving around the entire city just to play this game, it took a lot more time than I would assume it does now to hit level 8. But I also had less than half the portals in the city. So not only did it take more time, it was just harder to find that stuff. And I hit, so my New Year's resolution for 2013, which was kind of silly in retrospect, was to be the first level 8. Because at that time, nobody had been level 8 yet. And it was still kind of a new game. A lot of people didn't know about it. Like I said, it was still in beta. So for me, since Ingress had already kind of taken over a lot of my free time, I decided that was going to be my resolution. I wanted to hit level 8, and I wanted to be the first. To me, that was an accomplishment, and it still is. So I decided I was going to do that, and then on January 3rd of 2013, I hit level 8.
Nice.
So it did take me quite a while. I know a lot of people nowadays, we've actually had rallies here in Tucson to see who can hit level 8 faster or how quick we can help them hit level 8. So I know there's a lot of people who have done it like in 3 or 4 days. So saying that it took me from November to January seems kind of like a really long time, but back in the beginning of Ingress, that actually that's probably a
Really
big
fast.
accomplishment. Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow. Well, we already heard about your story on the first days of Ingress. What about Anomalies? You participated in your first share in Anomalies, like every one of them, and would you offer the most unique challenge experience?
I have participated in all of them, luckily.
Oh,
Yeah, so I think my most challenging would be 13 Magnus, only because it was not only the first one, but I helped lead all of the Tucson Enlightened, and that was huge for me. So because it was the first anomaly, a lot of people we didn't know really what to expect. It was based off of what we read on Google Plus, what we read off of, wherever we got our information from. I didn't know what an anomaly was. I didn't know what to expect. So to help lead something that I had no idea going into was very difficult. And we won by a landslide, which was kind of awesome. I know some Tucson Resistance are listening and they're not going to like to hear this, but we kicked butt, man. We did really awesome. And it was, I think a lot of it had to do with not knowing what to expect. So it was kind of thrown at us the moment of we had heard about these clusters, and I was thinking, man, what are we going to do? We don't have that many people. In my head, I kept thinking we need 100 people at least, and I can't remember the exact number now, but we didn't have that. So to prepare for Magnus was very difficult, but we actually had a lot of people come up the day of, and it was amazing to be able to do what we did. And our team, the Enlightened, were really united before this big event. And so to have something so big for all of us in Tucson, we're like, sweet, this is our time to shine. We were just so excited, And even though we didn't know what to expect, we kicked butt. And the Tucson Resistance did amazing too. And it's kind of cool because as the Tucson Enlightened leader, we talked to the Tucson Resistance leaders at that time about this event where we're supposed to be competing against each other, thinking, talking to each other, asking, so what are we going to do? Like, what does this mean? And that was just kind of weird in general if you think about it, because I'm asking the opponent what they're going to be doing, not their plan, but we didn't know what to expect. So yeah, I want to say 13 Magnus was definitely the most difficult, but the end of 13 Magnus was something that was huge to me. Not only our victory in Tucson, but I got to be a part of the San Francisco thing, which I think you're going to talk about, so I'm not going to go into that yet. 13 Magnus was definitely my answer.
I want to know, in Magnus, how was you leading your community? You were like doing all from planning to organize everyone to be in the ground and organize the teams, or just in the ground? What was your involvement in the anomaly?
It was everything. So I did lead. I was on the ground. I was on Zello. I was going to whatever cluster needed help, because beforehand you knew which cluster or which volatile portals were going to be in each cluster. If we didn't have enough people, we would do a check. So once you knew, we'd talk on Zello, and we'd say, how many people, give me a head count. Whoever had the least, that's where I was. And we had a bike team. We had what Anomalies now, as all of you guys know, what the basics are, basically. So we had that, even though we didn't really know what we were doing, like I said, because it was the first anomaly. But yeah, I was kind of everything, and it's kind of hard because I don't want to be I don't like to brag about it per se, but a lot of my team in Tucson keeps telling me, man, you were just awesome. It was something that I'm not this person who usually like kind of comes out and is very vocal about it. But for Magnus, it was a total switch. My personality was just out there because I know Ingress, you know. I knew what I was doing, and the game itself, I knew what was going on, even though I didn't know what the anomaly was. So I kind of was like, okay, this is our plan. We're going to have all of these teams where they're going to do X, Y, Z. This is the basics. Stick to the basics, and we're going to do fine. So yeah, I did everything. I helped lead. I was on Zello. I was on ground. The only thing I didn't actually do during the event was participate in I wasn't part of the bikes, but I was part of the fielding. I was part of the actual fighting. And so, yeah, I guess you could say I did a little bit of everything.
Wow.
Well, your premonition is definitely right. We're going to ask you about 13 Magnus and his shards and all that, because you had quite an experience with it. And in fact...
yeah, let's not go there. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I mean, in fact, you know, you were talked about by and to, you know, John Hankey, creator of Ingress and Niantic and all that, and because of your selflessness, you know. So tell us a little bit about what you did with shard number 1 specifically, and what that experience was like. I know you don't want to relive it, but
yeah, I was gonna say, man, Andrew, I really don't want to, but okay. Long story short, because we don't have a lot of time. Me and my partner, who also plays, his name is Biswell, we followed shard number 1 for 72 hours straight. No, not really much sleep at all. It was intense. So for the people who know about the shards and how that kind of worked, you know, you have a shard, you're trying to send it from point A to point B through a link. Basics. There's a lot of other things going on, the top of the hour, all of that kind of thing. We followed it for 72 hours, and it moved at the top of every hour. So there were times where we were trying to protect this shard from the other team, and we were trying to fight to keep the portal itself green, so there was no outgoing blue links, you know. But yeah, so 72 hours straight, and not much sleep at all, because we didn't want to miss anything. We didn't want to leave and then come back and not have the shard there. So we drove around, we drove around a lot of Arizona, following it from hour to hour to different cities. It was kind of ridiculous. I try to explain these things to, like, my mom and stuff, and she's like, really? You're just driving around doing this thing? And I'm like, no, you don't get it. It's so cool. I feel like a little kid, you know. I'm like, you just don't get it. It's this thing, and there's 13 of them, and this person, and anyway, so yeah, we spent a lot of time around it. We had a lot of help, and it was not just, you know, me and Brian or Biswell. It was not just us. Tucson itself, we came together as a team, and that was super awesome too. But we had so many other contacts in the United States and in other places. That was probably my favorite part of the shard. I got to meet so many people. I don't even know. That might have been where you and I kind of got in the first hangout together, you know. And there was just all these people from different places watching this shard on Intel. And they see this name. They see Black Rose and Biswell for 72 hours following it. You know, they're expecting it to go to a different city and be done. And it's like, really? That person is still following it? That same person? They have driven around most of Arizona. You know, us being those people, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of intense. We should probably go back to work, you know. we shouldn't just take time off to play this game, but we did. And another side story is my boss plays and she gets it, so that's also really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I can only imagine the conversations with your mom saying, yeah, there's some random guy I've never met on the internet who's telling me where to go.
Yes.
And I'm driving around the state.
Right. And before Brian, that was me by myself. So I was driving everywhere. You know, this girl in the car just by myself, random hours of the night playing this game because it was after work. It was pastime. It wasn't. So it was just these weird times, me in these weird cities that I'd never been to, heard of in my life, going to this post office because I know it's a portal. So it was just extreme, you know. And yeah, explaining to my mom something else, but she's never gonna play as much as I really want her to, especially for this new badge anyway. But she's not gonna play. But yeah, so I guess the best part, like I said again, sorry, long story short, the best part of the shard for me, there are a lot of really best parts, but I can't really keep saying that, is because so many other people in just everywhere, they were following this shard on Intel. You know, they wanted the same goals for each side, San Francisco or Titus, I think it was, I can't remember, for the resistance, but we all had the same goal, to have everybody come together for this thing. For us, it's, you know, in the scanner, we know what's going on. But for so many people to just to come together, and I actually got to bring shard number 1 home at the end of Magnus. So because of my work with the shard and so many people watching, I had people like Brandon Downey. He reached out to me on Hangouts one day, and he's like, "Hey, I saw your work," and I'm like, "What? That's awesome!" And he's like, I want you to come to San Francisco. I saw what you did, and I want you to come out here." And he helped me go to San Francisco just to bring shard number 1 home. So the person who had the key to where the shard was sitting, waiting to come home, you know, come to San Francisco, they met me at Cupid Span, and they're like, "Here's this key. You know, just careful. Here's the one key that we have left. I'm going to drop it. You're going to pick it up, and you're going to bring this home." And to me, man, I feel like a little kid every time I talk about Ingress, but I'm like, oh, I didn't even want to show it. I was so excited. I'm like, I followed this for 72 hours, and I get to bring it home. But yeah, so all of that was just super exciting.
That's cool. Glad to hear that kind of ending, because I mean that caused some PTSD for a lot of players. So, so let's talk about something a little bit more positive. Koalas, hugs, rainbows. Oh my! What on earth is your fascination with these 3 things?
Oh man. So koalas get kind of a bad rap, if anybody knows about them. They sleep for most of the day. They sleep for 18 to 20 hours a day. They are really picky eaters. You know, out of all the eucalyptus types of trees that they eat like 3 of them, and they get a bad rap. And they are also very vicious animals, which a lot of people don't think because they look super cute, but they can rip your face off if you get them angry. Their claws are sharp enough to like rip your face. My fascination with koalas, it stems from a past relationship I was in, actually. He said that when I gave hugs, it resembled what he thought a koala hug would be like. And I was like, you know what, that's awesome. The more I started reading into them, I kind of fell in love with them. I became obsessed with them. You can't really see a lot of my decor back there, but every like little thing that I have that's not a dragon or a black rose is a koala. The other thing, the pugs, they also kind of get a bad rap because they're kind of ugly in some ways. Their faces are all squished. They're not the cutest dogs in the world. They have a lot of respiratory problems, and I own 2 of them, and I absolutely love them. I wouldn't have it any other way. They shed like crazy. There's a lot of negative, I guess, but they are just so loving, and I think because they get such negative attention, I kind of take them in, and I'm like, you know what? Everybody thinks you're ugly. I think you're awesome, and so I own pugs. The rainbows thing, man, it's crazy. You asked my personal interests. The rainbows thing has a whole different meaning, but yeah, it's funny because my birthday was yesterday, and I kept thinking, man, I'm super easy. You buy anything that has a koala, a pug, a rainbow, or a black rose, and I'm squealing like a little kid. I'm like, oh my god, it's the cutest thing ever! So, yeah, I can't really explain a lot about all of them, but that's got to be the basics.
Pretty cool.
Wow, that's really cool. But you are also into music, not just listening to music, but you play, right?
Yeah, I play the bass guitar.
Wow.
I've been playing the bass guitar since I was 13, I want to say, on and off. Once I started picking up Ingress, I kind of took a lot of time away from my playing. I used to just sit with my, these headphones on and just play. And I do miss that a lot. But yeah, I play the bass guitar. In high school, I played the clarinet, but other than that, yeah, I'm really into music. There are a lot of times where, outside of Ingress, when I'm by myself, I just sit and listen to music.
Do you slap or do you pick?
It depends. And any good bass player should tell you that. It really depends on the kind of sound quality you want. If you want clear, you're probably going to be using a pick. It depends on how you pick as well. If you want a cool, deep, distorted sound, you want to slap. It depends on what you're playing, honestly.
What kind of music do you play?
Man, if I had to put a genre, it'd be rock.
Great.
Yeah.
That works.
I kind of just feel it, so yeah. I mean, I just kind of feel it, so it depends on what comes out. Whatever sounds good to me. You know, whatever comes up in the scale, whatever I'm feeling, whatever it could be. Sometimes it can be like a mood of bluegrass or whatever. So I can't really tell you one genre, but the majority of what I end up playing is probably rock.
No mariachi.
Oh my gosh, Andrew, really? Really, Andrew? Let's stereotype this a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're having a Latin night, right? Everybody was talking in Spanish.
Yeah. And you have to think in mariachi. My God.
Ranchero.
Yeah, that's my thing. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, I want to do a quick reminder for everyone that is watching. Don't forget to submit your questions for our guests by clicking the Q&A button. We'll be answering them live in just a little bit. Thank you.
All right. So next question. Now, I mean, you kind of mentioned this earlier, but we've got two factions, blue, green. How on earth did you come up with the name Black Rose?
Good question. I got lucky, first of all, choosing the name Black Rose and it being available, but I think that's because I was part of its second day of beta. I didn't really have a lot of competition. Black Rose has been a handle of mine since I was 12. I've been using it for all kinds of stuff, online gaming, even just online tags, like if they're asking for your username, what do you want, it's usually Black Rose, and spelled the way I do it in Ingress, so capital B, capital R. If that's not available, if there's either an underscore between the words or there's a hyphen with 15 at the end, but that's just been something that I've liked since I was 12. And I like Black Roses because they're not, so they're only in Turkey. You can only find real Black Roses in Turkey. And I've only seen them once in my life. I had the honor of getting them gifted to me at one of the Anomalies I went to, which was super awesome. Yeah. I don't know what else fascinates me about them. I think they're just really cool. They're kind of dark, and they're not really black either. This is kind of a side note, I guess. They're not black. They're really deep, deep purple.
Yeah.
It looks like black, though. But, yeah, it's just been a handle of mine since a long time ago, and I got really lucky with Ingress to have that name available.
Wow, and I think it's amazing that someone actually brought that to you as a gift given.
Oh, man. That was so awesome. Oh, the feeling I had when I got those, I was like, are you kidding me? That is just, and then for them to know that they're only in Turkey, and that was super awesome.
Yeah, you might have to take a trip there someday.
Oh, yeah.
Normally there. Congrats, come on.
That is cool. That's one of the things that I love about the community is all the little special things like that happen.
Exactly.
So. All right, let's. You ready to wade into the viewer questions?
Yeah, sure.
All right. We've got one from somebody you might know, Brian Edwards.
That's Sidwell, by the way.
First off, he says, "Wow, you look great on YouTube."
Oh gosh.
So his question is, you've been in this game for a long time. What is the best time you've had in the game, single day, funnest experience?
Receiving the Black Rose.
Oh, that was good.
Black Rose in my area.
You know what? That was cool, but I know that day. for sure. I know which day. Whoa, man, no, I don't. There's two. There's two really close, and darn you, Brian, for asking this question. So I would say two events. 13 Magnus, Tucson winning by a landslide, and us doing so good was definitely probably, that was probably number one. The second one was also the most frustrating day for me, Ingress-wise, so much so that I just wanted to get up and quit. I was so done. If anybody knows about Shard number one and the incident, I keep talking about it in a positive light, which is awesome, but there was a lot of negative that came with it. The last day that we had it, so like 72-hour, 73-hour mark, it was taken from us by a Enlightened spoofer.
Ooh.
Back to where it originated from 72 hours prior. So that day was frustrating for me, but at the same time is probably the best day because I got the honor and privilege that day of meeting or talking to Brian Rose. He was following the Shard because that was part of his job, I guess. And he messaged me on Hangouts and he's like, "Hey, I kind of saw what was going on. It was taken from you, or it went back to its origination spot. Can you explain?" And I'm like, "Man, you don't even know. So this is what happened," and giving him the whole spiel, right? And he actually kind of followed it up and sent it back to where we were planning on sending it to because of all of the work that we had done. And they found out it was an Enlightened spoofer who brought it back to where it originated. And that was it was a great day for me because I was like, "Oh, cool, Brian Rose." And at that time, again, I was still, I'm still excited about Ingress, but I was like, "Wow, Brian Rose, he's talking to me. How cool is this?" And also the most frustrating because I was like, really, 72 hours later, and now all of that has meant nothing because it went back to where it started from. So that's definitely my best and worst day, which is kind of ironic.
Pretty amazing, though. I didn't realize that was you. I gave you some. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that was a mess.
I don't think anybody slept that was involved in that for like 2 weeks. That
I
was
know.
Yes.
All right.
Look at
Let's see here. We got another one from Jeff B, who has a statement as well and a question. Evy plans awesome cross-faction events. ... When's the next one, Evy? I'm guessing Jeff is maybe Resistance or no?
He is Resistance from Tucson. That's one of the things that I haven't mentioned, and I was going to do during my 30 seconds or whatever. But the Tucson Ingress players as a whole are awesome. We're very close, both factions, and I think that's one of the neat things for us. But yeah, Jeff B is a Resistance agent, Agent Nazos. The next cross faction is actually not up to me anymore. I kind of decided that it would be best to not have one person anymore be the lead of Tucson, so now we have different moderators, so shout out to you guys, but we have a moderator specifically for cross faction events for Tucson. And so whenever she makes it is when it is. Sorry I don't have a better answer.
There's one coming though. The answer is there's one coming.
There you go. Actually, first Saturdays, February. That's our next one. Actually, that is our next one. First Saturdays, February.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Yep.
I'm gonna put her on the spot and call her out. Kelly Colton is, I believe, typing something, but
Kelly, hi.
She hasn't finished the question yet, so when she finishes it, we'll ask it. All right. The next one is actually a similar question that we asked Hugo. Actually, it's the exact question we asked Hugo. Have you ever coordinated your wardrobe and worn green on purpose to an Ingress event?
Well, green, yes. I've actually never worn blue on purpose, which I know other people do. I mean, opposite colors. I've never done that. And I am going to get up in the camera a little bit because I want to sport this shirt. So it actually has my name. It says Black Rose.
Oh.
Yeah, so my team made this for me, and I think it was last year for Christmas they gave it to me, but it's got an Enlightened logo, and I'm going to take off my headphone for a second because I want to show you the back of it. That's the coolest part to them. Hold on.
Oh, I like that.
So there's a kind of a funny story to that. I hate when they call me coach. I yeah, I don't like taking any leadership of our community here. I think everybody should be on the same level. You know, we all do a lot of equal amount of work. So they've all used to call me coach, and that's how they'd get my attention. So during 13 Magnus, one of our agents, you know, as we were planning, all the Enlightened were in this big room together talking, and they were trying to get my attention. They kept saying, Evie, Evie, Yvette, Black Rose. And then they yelled out, Coach, and I turned around at that. And that's where they're like, really? You say you're not Coach, but you answered only to that. And I'm like, you know, forget you guys. And then this came on Christmas with Coach on the back. So yeah, this is what I would wear to most of my anomalies if it's not one of the shirts that people have given me for Ingress.
Hey.
All right. So Kelly actually finished typing her question, and it is, do you have a favorite post-anomaly tradition?
Oh, honest answer, no. I have gone to a lot of anomalies outside of my city, and I usually end up just hanging out with whoever either asks. This is a bad habit of mine. I'm not actually very outgoing, so if people don't ask me, I'll probably just end up going back home or going back to wherever. But most of the time, people kind of know who I am, and that's kind of cool to me, so they'll ask me to go with them. The last 2 times I have hung out with Brandon after the anomalies, but other than that, I don't really have a tradition except to celebrate if we won and to congratulate the other team if they won.
Cool. I like it.
All right, I think, let me see if anything, oh yeah, all right, so here's one random one, and then we'll call it quits. Thomas and Kelly would like to know, what color is your toothbrush?
That's awesome.
Story, or is this black? Is this the one that gave you the black
Trick question, huh? I don't know. Who'd you say that was? Thomas?
Yeah, Thomas.
Okay. My toothbrush is white. It's an Oral-B Pulse. You want me to? I should show it off the way Andrew did earlier. His little showing us something off. It's a blue. It's a white with blue. Not green. Yeah. It's electric.
Excellent.
Well, Evie, it's your turn to talk for 6 seconds. Do you have another question? Oh my god.
Somebody wanted me to play the sound clip from Ace Ventura, but it doesn't come through very good.
I'm ready to go, Coach. Just give me a chance.
I'm ready to go, Coach. Just give me a chance.
Who said that? I'm so upset.
Anyway, all right, moving on. Don't worry about it.
Well, Black Rose, it's your turn to talk for 60 seconds about anything you want. So, go.
Okay.
Now.
Just like that. Shout out Biswell, Brian, the one who asked the question. He is a player, an Ingress player, but he also started playing because of me, and we are now in a relationship together, so he is my boyfriend. So shout out to Biswell. Shout out to Tucson Meteor. This is our community. That's our nickname, Meteor. Shout out to Storm, which is the Tucson Resistance, because we wouldn't be here without you guys. BTS, Behind the Scanner. Glad to be on it, finally. And, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. Koalas, Pugs, Rainbows, and Black Roses.
That sounds pretty darn good.
Yo.
Great, you have other 40 seconds or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know what to say except
It's okay.
I'm excited for Pasadena. I'm going to Pasadena for the next anomaly. So
I might be going to that too.
ah, sweet. I might see you there.
It's a possibility. All right. Well, rainbows, pugs, and what was the third? Oh, koalas. Yeah.
Koalas.
That's a good way to end the show. I like that.
There you
Rainbows,
go.
Pugs, koalas. What's the make that our motto? Well, actually, you know what? We'll make that into a shirt. Rainbows, pugs, koalas. All right.
Yes, I want one. I want a shirt.
Well, Evie,
That
thank
sounds
you
like
for
a
coming
cheer.
on. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Happy birthday again, although, day late, but that's all right. You didn't come on yesterday. We didn't have a show yesterday. So thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
For everybody else watching,
All right.
Watching, you can join us next week. I don't recall who our guests are off the top of my head, but we will have a show. And if there's nobody, we'll just interview ourselves, talk amongst ourselves. So.
Yeah, we have never interviewed ourselves.
I don't know that would go over well.
Maybe it's fun. I don't know.
Yeah, so everybody join us next week, and happy hacking. And have a good night. You know, I do have some questions I would ask of you guys, Andrew and Jorge.
Secret.
Wait. I have a question for Hugo, because, like I said, I had to do a CAT scan and MRI recently. Why does that stuff you have to drink taste like crap? Do you guys ever like dare each other to see how much you can drink it? Oh, stop! I just imagine there's like a group of radiologists in the back going, "All right, if you get this one wrong, I'll bet you $30 that you can't chug this bottle."
That's nasty.
Yeah, that's good.
It's bad. That's some bad stuff. Not fun.
And you have a bunch of guys glowing in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, now that would be a good party trick.